Akpabio never knew that the court case between him and Natasha will finally come the wrong way. Akpabio and other senators actually felt that there's nothing the judicial system of Nigeria will do based on the matter. You remember, the judicial system said they should not do anything against Natasha, not even to suspend her, but they went at the back, they suspended Natasha. Now, Akpabio is finally facing sentencing in the law court at the moment. Come and see what is happening. Come and see what the lawyer is saying at the moment. You will see in this very video, you will see things the way it goes. Akpabio is finally being sentenced, and a lot of senators right now are panicking at the moment. So I would like us to stay connected to the end of the video. You can share the video, just want to share it as you're watching it. Share it to various social media platforms. Let it go viral. The evidence that they're showcasing now is shocking up at the moment, because these are evidence that cannot be undermined, and these are evidence that cannot be denied by Akpabio and the senator. So if you can share the video, share it. If you can share, just like it. Stay connected. I'll come back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should leave the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now. It makes sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome you back to LAJUPOG TV. For those of you that are fresh on this platform, just do well to click the red subscription button appearing on your video screen now, and at the same time click the notification bell icon so that whenever we drop a new video in few hours time, YouTube will easily let you know. Akpabio and other senators in the House of Assembly really think that they can do everything possible around the judicial system of Nigeria, because a lot of people have finally come out in several locations. They've condemned the judicial system. They've said all manner of things as far as the judiciary is concerned. They said the judiciary is not a place of justice again, that the justice system have collapsed and all of that. But the other way around is playing out now as far as Natasha and Akpabio case is concerned. They already think that whatever they do in the Halo chamber, that there's nothing, there's no ruling the judicial system can actually give that can actually supersede their own ruling. The judicial system, the judge came out to make it known to the general public that they should not suspend Natasha. He said even when the issue newly escalated, then that they should not do anything against Natasha. But these people passed through the back. They used their ethics committee to actually remove Natasha and suspend her and all of that for 6 months. Now come and see the questions that the lawyer is asking Akpabio, and Akpabio couldn't provide an answer in the law court. Nobody ever expected that Akpabio couldn't provide an answer. Why is it that you suspend Natasha? Come and see the way Akpabio was actually panicking. I will play you the full video in this very video. You will see things the way it goes. So I would like guys to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share the video as you're watching it, just want to share it. Share it to the best social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like it. Like the video, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. When Akpabio was actually taking all those actions, then a lot of senators actually backed him up. A lot of them did not support Natasha. They did not want to have anything to do with Natasha. They said they suspended her for gross misconduct and all of that. Yes, fine. We already know that Natasha actually disrespected Akpabio, which wasn't called for, but we understand where the issue is coming from. But these people refuse to touch the issue from where it's actually emanating from, but they hold Natasha on gross misconduct, even when the court said they should never do anything against Natasha. But they went ahead. They did what they really wanted to do, because the court already know that they want to suspend Natasha, but they went ahead, they do what they want to do, and now Natasha has been suspended for 6 months. And in the constitution, even in the House of Assembly there, you cannot suspend a senator for more than 14 days, which is 2 weeks. But they put Natasha's suspension on 6 months, and they withdraw her security. And as if that is not enough, we don't really know, maybe they withdraw her salary and her staff salary, because they actually said it in the Halo chamber that they will withdraw her salary and her staff salary and everything. They try to strip the woman naked. But the question the lawyer is asking Akpabio, do Akpabio have the power to withdraw Natasha's salary? Is it Akpabio that is actually paying Natasha the salary? Is Natasha working for Akpabio? Those are the questions that the lawyers are asking Akpabio in the law court. Akpabio couldn't provide an answer. I will play the full video. Come and see the way Akpabio was panicking. They asked Akpabio different series of questions. This man couldn't provide an answer. Are you the one that employed Natasha? Why do you think you have the power to withdraw her salary? Are you the one that is the IG IGP, why do you think you can withdraw her security? Are you the one that gave her the security? Those are the questions that they're asking. What do you want to gain by removing her security after suspending her? Have you ever withdrawn the security of any senators in the House chamber, even when they misbehave and all of that? Have you ever withdrawn their salary? But in the case of Natasha, why is it like that? Those are the questions that they're asking Akpabio, and Akpabio couldn't provide an answer. You will see things for yourself. Nobody ever see this coming. Even the senators in the House of Assembly, all of them are shaking because they never know that the court can come this way. This is a total disrespect to Nigeria judiciary, for Nigeria judiciary to make a ruling, and these people go ahead to go against the ruling, and they think they will just go scot-free. Now the questions are coming to them and they couldn't answer the question. So let me leave you to watch the video. First of all, listen to what this woman said regarding what Akpabio and Natasha did. It is very, very disgusting and all. You will see this for yourself, and during the video you will see what the lawyer said in the law court and all of that. You will see things for yourself. Just stay connected. If you can share the video, do well to share it. If you can't share it, just like it. Stay connected. I'll come back again.
Well, in legal proceedings, service of processes is very important, because it's only when parties are properly served that can study the cases and know how to respond. So the judge have acted very well by ordering that all the relevant processes should be exchanged by the parties.
There was no point going to that route, I mean, except you don't get the justice that you demand or you desire. And of course, you know that the IPU doesn't really, it's just an advisory body. I mean, their decisions don't have any effect on the decisions of the Nigerian Senate. And then taking the matter to the world stage, it makes me begin to think otherwise. Ordinarily, when that incident took place, I was like, oh, she's a woman, they should just give it to her and allow her maybe to speak up, and then probably allow her for that day to sit there. But when the matter became more rancorous and all that, and then hearing her talk about sexual harassment and all that, I became worried, because I'm also a woman. I mingle with politicians, I'm in the media, and I know that most times this is the case. When you get around politicians, people make it look like it's either you are subjected to some form of harassment, particularly when you don't have your way. But you see, the truth is, she said she's defending Nigerian women. She's doing it for Nigerian women. And I said, no, it's not for Nigerian women. It is for you, because there are very many of us Nigerian women who understand that even our fundamental rights go with our fundamental duty. And we have a duty to be respectful, to play by the rules of the game, to also respect the men, the Nigerian men, irrespective of the fact that we all may find ourselves in the Senate or somewhere together. You know, so it's not about the Nigerian men. I think it's just about her own personal cause, which I think that the media still needs to dig deeper beyond the allegations to find out what actually is the trigger, the driving force behind this energy, you know, this negative energy that has not only affected the Nigerian Senate or the Senate president, but the entire nation and the entire Nigerian women and African women, if you also add that. So going back and forth, you know, taking the matter to the world stage, I think there's something else that we may still need to find out. It's a developing story, and for me, we'll keep digging until we get to the root of the matter.
But what are the holes, from what you've said now, to fully understand your position? What sticky areas have you identified in this whole saga, in this whole controversy?
What areas?
Yes, what areas stand out for you? What gray areas stand out for you? Yes, this is happening in the hallowed chambers, but for you, with your exposure and all of that, what are the gray areas that you want to be spotlighted?
Well, for someone who is outside the Senate, who is not a lawmaker, naturally you will feel that before seats are changed, I mean, the lawmakers should be informed, should be, you know, notified that there will be changes, you know. But again, or the day you took an oath, to become a member of the Nigerian Senate, you are given the rule books of the Senate, which you will go and also study, and then also have those who are good in legislative advice who will take you through. So you also know that the seats can be changed. That's what we heard that day. And of course, when they mentioned that several senators spoke, that the seats can be changed at any time. The presiding officer has the right to do. I had to, stand down my own argument in her favor, But again, the issue of shouting and then of course pointing fingers at the Senate president, as a man, as a husband, and as a father, to me that's a no-no. That's a no-no. No matter your rights you feel are trampled on, there are so many ways you can channel your problem and then also get the justice that you demand. And then of course when the issue was on, I noticed that she was emphatic on her bills being shut down, the one on Ajokuta Steel. And I think that there's something about that Ajokuta Steel that she is passionate about. And I'm thinking that there are also some interests, vested interests. There are people, high-profile people, both nationally and internationally, who may be involved in that. Because Natasha, the first time I came across her was when she made her presentation at the National Assembly some couple of years back. And it was about the corruption at the Ajokuta Steel Complex. So I think that is actually the major thing. And even the Senate president, the Senate itself, and Nigeria government need to find out whose interest is being protected. Is it actually the interest of the Kogi Central people, or is it her personal interest, or the interest of some persons who are big players, maybe who have the interest to either take over that place, buy it off, or whatever. So I think that's number one. The issue of sexual harassment, of course, was not on the floor of the House. That was, I think, either on Arise TV or Berekete Radio or something like that. It was not on the floor. She didn't mention that. So I think that that's also like an afterthought, having been suspended that day. So you need to fight back, because the story that we are hearing about the issue of sexual harassment the day before the Senate president birthday, which also was her own birthday, they shared the same date. I mean, on Facebook, a day after that, which was the birthday of the Senate, both of them, she made a post where she also, was eulogizing the Senate president. And from information I also gathered from those who were there for the birthday, she made an attempt to sit near the Senate president because they shared the same birthday. And they said to her, no, you need to sit where other senators are seated. You don't need to sit there irrespective of the fact. So the question is, at what point did she realize that it was a sexual harassment when the man said whatever she claims the man said to her? You see, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of women, we want to play the victim, especially when we don't have our way. I'm sorry to say, I'm not saying that there are no such issues, but you have to be sure that you have the evidence, because it's going to be your word against the person. Unfortunately, when the men are accused like this, it's difficult. Everybody tends to believe the story. But now, Nigerians are becoming wiser. Even the IPU also insisted that they must hear from the other side before they can also take their own position. Most Nigerian women who are also on the streets, also even those who are in defense of Natasha, are asking for evidence. And most times these things are neither here nor there. There's a thin line actually between somebody speaking to you nicely and then somebody saying, sexually harassing you. And I do not want to believe that. I have worked with Senate President Akpabio some couple of years when we were doing our quest, of the Niger Delta, NDDC and all that. I didn't see that side of him. I didn't see that aspect of him. Although there was also an incident between the Senate President when he was Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs and the acting MD of NDDC, Ms. Joy Nune, and I played an active role because I heard from Joy even before she came on TV to make those allegations. She told me that this was what she was going to allege, and I found it strange. I don't want to say some private things, but somebody very close to her who ought to have known said to me that she never even told him of this aspect of sexual harassment and all that. So it's becoming like a pattern, amongst women who probably feel cheated out or who are losing out of something. And unfortunately for Akpabio, I feel for him, even though I've not seen him for like 3 years now. We've not spoken, you know, since he became Senate president. But I think I have sympathy for him, because it's looking as if it's a pattern, you know, that anybody who works closely with him. But I also others who have worked with him, and me in particular, I didn't see any such aspect. So I think that we need to go beyond those personal issues. Nigeria has problem. The Ajokuta thing she's talking about, we want to know what her interest is, and then leave this issue. Of course, on the issue of suspension, that's the rule of the Senate. It doesn't mean that it cannot be relaxed. It has happened to the likes of what's his name, the former DG to Ali Ndume, former DG to Akpabio, when he was running for Senate president. He was suspended. Abdul Ningi, a high-ranking senator like this man, was also suspended. People have been suspended, and later on, these things are relaxed. So I don't think that she needs to take her own out of unnecessary.
Right. And do you think this is a matter that will pass away somewhat now? It's been called a distraction. The Senate has also expressed its concern somewhat as to how Nigerians are viewing this matter away from what should be its regular and paramount business. This amidst calls that the Senate president should recuse himself, you know, from further leadership of the House until the dust settles, and probably give way for a fair investigation of all these allegations. Do you think this is possible?
Well, on normal circumstances, that would have been possible, but you don't ask the leadership of the Senate president to recuse himself on a matter that is. Don't forget that the issue of sexual harassment was not before the House. It's not even before the courts. The issue was her flouting of the Senate rules, you know, the sitting arrangement and all that. So when you say the man should recuse himself for what? For doing what? For evoking the rule of the House, saying that, look, you must go to. I heard the man clearly. He said, Senator Natasha, go to your seat. I will listen to you. We will hear you, but you will have to first go to your seat. So why would the man recuse himself? Now, because there's an attachment of sexual harassment, I think that the focus, the emphasis on recusing himself, you know, speaks volume. There's a political undertone there. There are persons who just want to see that, I mean, the Senate president is eased off, even if it's for a week or for a month or for whatever, and then maybe they could, of course, have their own person or whoever they want. We are going into the election year, you know, so a lot of don't forget that Natasha is from the opposition, irrespective of the fact that her family shares a close bond with Akpabio. She's from the opposition, and in this business, your interest is more important than whatever shared interest we have. She's from the opposition. So
by taking away that power, which the Senate does not have, even by the Senate's own rules. The Senate's own rule says that you can only suspend for 10 days, 10 clear days, 14 legislative days. Yeah. That's what the Senate rule says. You understand? And that Senate rule has been declared to even be inconsistent with the Constitution, because it is the Constitution that gives power. It is the Constitution that gives power to the legislature, to the executive and the judiciary. You know, and all legislative powers that have been donated by the Constitution is encapsulated in the Constitution. So, and any law or any rule so made that is inconsistent with the Constitution is null and void to the extent of its inconsistency. So, the Senate rules cannot be more pronounced or more prominent than the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and as amended. You know, and the Senate rules is not at large. You know, you cannot just become more powerful all of a sudden, more than the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, or more than the decision of courts. And the most painful aspect of this is that while the Senate Committee on Ethics, you know, was presiding over the suspension debate of Natasha Akpoti, there was already a positive order of court. There was already a positive order of court barring them from taking further steps until the substantive motion of notice, which was before the court is determined. But the Akpabio Senate, the Akpabio stamp Senate, that have no regard for the people of Nigeria, that have no regard for the people of Kogi Central, that have no regard for even, decided cases on this same subject matter, went ahead in flagrant contravention and disregard for that Federal High Court ruling, ex parte ruling, barring the committee as a whole from taking any further step, went and endorsed the recommendation of the committee, which is a flagrant abuse of court process. It's a flagrant disregard of the rule of law, because the court, several in a plethora of cases, the most notable, which is Ojukwu and Lagos State government, has said that it is the government that needs to obey the rule of law more than even the citizens, that because they cannot govern without the rule of law. So when the Senate of the National Assembly, they're supposed to know the law, know the rules, obey court judgments and pronouncements, when they flagrantly disobey the law or they are not abreast of the law, because how can they suspend her for 6 months when their own rule says it's 14 legislative days? That is on one hand. On the other hand, why will they proceed to take disciplinary actions against her when there's a positive order of court to say you cannot take any action on this matter until the substantive matter has been decided by the court? So it simply means that the legislature have no regard for rule of law or the judiciary. And among all the 109 senators that were present during the debate on the floor, nobody could point out the fact that there are already decided cases. As the reference case I mentioned in my intro, the Bauchi State case and Honorable Donor in that matter in 2017, that none of them could bring these cases, and a plethora of other cases, Ali Ndume and the Dino Melaye and the Senate, a plethora of cases, have been decided by the court, Omagege and the Senate, a plethora of cases that you can't even suspend more than 14 days because that's what your rule says. How then do you proceed? The most recent of the 2017 case, which is now even in line with judicial precedent, that's third decisis, by the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal ruling is more superior to the Ali Ndome and the Magege cases, because the Court of Appeal now has made a blanket statement that you cannot even suspend. You cannot suspend a lawmaker. You cannot suspend a lawmaker entirely. That is what the Court of Appeal recent decision has said. Because doing so is depriving our constituents representation.
Now, given that Senator Apoti Uduaghan has filed a lawsuit seeking 100 billion naira in damage, what legal avenues are available to her under Nigerian law to challenge her suspension and the dismissal of her petition?
Yes, simply put, in my view, I feel that the most important thing is that she must first challenge her suspension. By challenging her suspension, the matter is already before the court. The court is seized of jurisdiction of the matter. She must challenge her suspension now that the matter that she had taken to court has been overtaken by the flagrant disregard and this disobedience to the ruling of the Federal High Court. She must now put it in issue, and now join the proper parties in that matter, because steps have been taken. The steps that the Federal High Court said must not be taken has been taken against her. So she must now put the issue of her suspension in issue for determination before the court properly. She must now challenge the 6 months suspension vis-a-vis what the House rule says, that it can only be for 14 legislative days. Yeah. Additionally, she must bring about into issue again the 72 hours injunction that was given by the Federal High Court, because that must be an issue that in clear disregard for the rule of this honorable court that was already seized of jurisdiction, the committee went ahead, deliberated on this matter. That's why the court issued a 72 hours injunction that they must not do so. That in flagrant disregard to the court, that the committee sat, unanimously decided that I should be suspended. Yes, that the committee sat and unanimously decided that I should be suspended, despite the fact that there had been a decision by the court that should not have been done in the instant case. So those two issues must now be issues for determination before the court. In doing so, the court will most likely, in my considered view, rule against the Senate and restore her back to her seat.
Now, the Senate leader, Akpabio has emphasized that Senator Akpoti's Uduaghan's suspension was due to persistent misconduct and disregard for Senate rules, not her sexual harassment allegations. How do Senate rules balance the need for discipline with the right to free expression? And do you believe that these rules were applied fairly in this case?
This can be synonymous with the Yoruba saying that a witch cried yesterday night and a child died this morning. Who does not know that it was the witch that cried yesterday night that killed the child? Even while the seat of Senator Natasha was being changed, she kept making reference to Order 10. And Order 10 is the last resort for every parliamentarian in the National Assembly. That when an injustice is being done against you, and any parliament raises point of order and cites Order 10 of the rules of the Senate, that every deliberation is suspended to give that senator fair hearing. That was not done in the case. In fact, when she was raising Order 10, Senator Akpabio, the presiding officer of the Senate, is forcefully removed her from the Senate. You understand? It simply means that there was no intention to give her fair hearing whatsoever. There was no intention whatsoever to give her fair hearing. Not only was she not given fair hearing, all the further steps that were taken after the denial of hearing from her, the Senate rule says before you change somebody's seat, that you must inform the senator. The idea is that it is after you have informed the senator. She was never informed. It is after you have informed the senator that the step can now be taken of changing. So they violated their own rules in Natasha's case. And after violating their rule, they expected her not to complain. And after she complained and now raised sundry issues and even wrote and now formally brought the complaint before them, they said, no, you cannot do this. You cannot speak ill of leadership. Oh, there must be a culture of silence. So for me, in my view, all what Senator Akpabio was doing and what was done on the floor of the Senate was aimed at harassing, bullying, and promoting the culture of silence in the National Assembly. And the reason why these guys could not speak up, majority of them are not happy with the way Akpabio runs the Senate, as if senators are pupils in a primary school. Majority of them are not happy. But the email that they keep sharing, the envelopes, Akpabio has said that, I have sent mail to your inbox. Go and check. So those envelopes that they keep sharing, they are the reasons why many of them do not have the courage, to speak truth to power. It's very unfortunate that this is the situation at the National Assembly.
Now, critics have also argued that the Senate President Akpabio should not have even presided over a case in which he was personally implicated, citing a conflict of interest. From a constitutional standpoint, sir, should parliamentary leaders recuse themselves in such situations, and what mechanism exists to ensure impartiality?
Yes, whenever a complaint has been made against a presiding officer, the right thing, the proper thing, the ethical thing to do is for him to recuse himself and allow the Deputy Senate President preside. This is not the first time such a thing is happening. Saraki did it around 2017 over issues of allegations against him for buying bulletproof cars. He recused himself, he allowed the Deputy Senate President to preside. And they could have still done this, their dirty hatchet job properly. The chairman of the ethics committee was on Arise News defending Akpabio and insulting Natasha. Few days before Akpabio now constituted, referred the petition of Natasha to his committee. So it can be that Akpabio did not have to be a judge in his own matter. You cannot be a judge in your own matter and expect that there will be fairness, equity, or justice. Just like the way that ethics committee chairman ought not to have sat on this matter, because they had already picked a fight in the race, and he would have consulted independent, neutral people. At least there are four to five women in that Senate. Yeah. You have gotten some women involved in the committee. You have gotten some opposition people involved. Balance the committee and say, I have nothing to hide. These allegations against me, they are not true. please investigate me. But that was not done in the instant case.
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can hear everything that the lawyer said in this very video. You know, the lawyer said it all in this very video. The lawyer make it known to the general public that Natasha have all the chances to win Akpabio in the law court because Akpabio disrespected the Nigeria judiciary, and Nigeria judiciary will not take it lightly with Akpabio. For Nigeria judiciary to make a ruling and Akpabio go and do otherwise. Now, why is Akpabio becoming a judge on his own case? You know, according to everything that was stated in this very video, the matter arises and Akpabio was accused by this lady, and after the lady accused Akpabio, though we don't know maybe the accusation is really true or false. Yes, that's what the court actually want to figure out for Nigerians and all. You know, if Natasha can provide evidence according to report, and Natasha will win the case. But if Natasha couldn't provide an evidence, Akpabio will win the case free of charge, and that is what a lot of people are saying. But as the matter remains, Akpabio cannot be a judge on this case. That's what the lawyer, DEJI ADEYANJU, was actually saying in this very video. Why will Akpabio become a judge on his own case? Because as the matter arises, the first thing that Akpabio is supposed to do is to bring up the ethics committees, and they need to sit down. An opposition party member will sit down, and the APC party member, which is the ruling party, they will sit down. The ethics committee will join. Everybody will join randomly, and Akpabio will allow them to investigate the matter. That's what a lot of people are expecting. But in this case, a lot of the senators, they put their support for Akpabio, and as they put their support for Akpabio, this woman feel left alone, and that was why she went to international community to report the case, because she felt that there's nobody she can report the case to in Nigeria again. Is it a number that she wants to go and report the case to, or Shetima? These people are on the same party. That's to tell you that things are really going on as far as Nigeria is concerned. Now, what is expected of Akpabio is to set a committee to investigate the matter. They should allow the committee to investigate him and investigate Natasha to know who is saying the truth and who is not saying the truth. If Akpabio is saying the truth, Akpabio will go scot-free and Natasha will be punished severely, and if possible, Natasha can be removed and she can be recalled as a senator, and she will leave the senatorial seat. And if it's Akpabio that is guilty, the same thing goes with Akpabio. Those are what a lot of people are saying. But Akpabio became a judge on his own case, and as he became the judge on his own case, the matter have not been investigated. Now, that is why Natasha is insisting. She said they think she did not have an evidence. She said she had a lot of evidence, whereas this woman is a legal practitioner, and lawyers are expected to be very smart. They smarter and they think more deeper than a lot of people. That is why they have all it takes to defend people in the law court. They think outside the box. Now, Natasha is a legal practitioner and is very smart, and even as a senator, she knows what she is doing. That was what Natasha said. She said, did they think she did not have an evidence? She said she have evidence, but she did not want the evidence to be dead before arrival, because the petition that she even submitted in the Halo chamber, some senators have the temerity to say it, that the petition is dead before arrival, just because they want to place Akpabio, just because they want to put their support for Akpabio. How is it that a petition can be dead before arrival? What kills the petition? Those are the questions that a lot of people are actually asking now. Natasha said she will not release any evidence because she did not want the evidence to be dead before arrival. That is why a lot of people are asking her for evidence, and she's saying no, that it is until the matter is set to be investigated, because they never plan to investigate the matter. According to Natasha, she says they want to sign it and sweep the matter under the carpet, and as if that's not enough, they want her to come and apologize in the House of Assembly. But this woman said no. He said she will stand on her word that Akpabio harassed her, and by so doing, they will go to court, and whatever ruling the court meant, so be it. And Natasha in question said it is when they plan to investigate the matter, that is when she will release all the concrete evidence that she had against Akpabio and all of that. Now, looking at what that woman said in this very video that I just finished watching, a lot of people actually got angry with the woman, and a lot of people got angry with TVC because they believe that TVC is a kind of platform, is a kind of media house that will never come out to say the truth. They will always come out to be biased in one side, and they will never balance the equation, unlike Channels Television and Arise TV. Those are the complaints that a lot of people are actually having with TVC. The TVC in question is having one of the biggest studio, one of the best studio, one of the mega studio in Africa. Africa. But why is it that they're struggling with attention, with engagement, with views and all of that? The reason is because a lot of people see them to be this kind of bias. That is why the people that they actually bring to their platform and all of that, they are this kind of people that they bring from one side, and they will never bring the other people from the other side that will say the truth the way it is. They never bring people that say the truth according to what a lot of Nigerians are saying. These are not even my own personal opinion, it's alleged. Allegedly. That's why a lot of people are saying that is why they don't have audience, that's why they don't have views, that's why they don't have engagement. Now a lot of people are expecting TVC to do better. It's not them bringing in different people that will always say what they wanted and all of that. Bring people that will say the truth the way it is. Now drop your opinion in the comment section of this video. Feel free, don't be biased. Don't think Natasha is saying the truth, don't think Akpabio is saying the truth. Just analyze and drop your opinion. Feel free. Who do you think is right as far as this case is concerned? As I'm gonna do that for you, and share, follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment, and on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video. Bye for now.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, be pastor. For LAJUPOG Watch TV. Pastor with the bar, where politician with the do pass himself. Corrupt leader, all the while you waiting for church. All as LAJUPOG Watch TV.